Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. We are live, and I'm happy to be here with you, trying to shed light on this. We're broadcasting here from the ghetto, so the hamsters are in the back, pedaling as fast as they can, just to try to keep the lights on here. But you all are going to be feeling the same thing if we have 4 years of the Biden administration and their $3.5 trillion deal that we're going to be talking about later in the evening. We may carry that over to tomorrow. We'll see. We're just getting breaking news that are close to a deal. So, yeah. Let me just say this before I get into what I'm going to talk about here. Biden and Sinema, I hate putting the fate of the country in the hands of these two, but you need to contact these two immediately. You really do. And I think that you need to contact your own people. And if you care about your standard of living and the future of your kids and grandkids, you need to tell everyone who represents you, if this passes, America will take their political vengeance out on you. You are done. We will work against you. You have betrayed this country. You need to draw a line in the sand. We'll talk about this more down the road. And that's not really what this is about. But this is breaking news from Nancy Pelosi saying we're close to a deal. Anyway, we're going to talk about something that I think is kind of entertaining, but then it's also very serious. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney, what an interesting guy he was, right? Um, one of the most famous lines he ever had was "You dirty rat." That was one of the most imitated movie lines of all time. Well, if Mickey Rooney were alive today, he would be looking at cities like New York and Chicago and saying, "You dirty rats." You know, we're going to talk about why I'm saying that and why you should be concerned. And we're going to do that right here on the Common Sense Show, where we're the show that's freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. We're brought to you by Virtual Shield, and it's time that you got virtual protection. Cybercrime is at an all-time high. And the good people of Virtual Shield, by the way, they won't even come on my show. Oh, they like what I do for them. They like the Common Sense Show, but they don't want to come on because they want to stay in the shadows because they don't want to get pressure. They don't want to be influenced. They're purposely anonymous. And that's what they want to make you. They want to make you anonymous. They think you have the right to remain private, and you do. So whether we're talking about intrusion into your computer to get key passwords, it can open up your bank account, identity theft, shall we say, social credit score, or media meddling on your computer, they can stop all that with a two-step process, encryption plus IP rotations. And they're very good at what they do, and it's not expensive. You get a 30-day free trial. You get half off. Our audience gets half off for life, whether you choose the business plan or the family plan. Go to Hide with Dave to find out more. That's Hide with Dave. Now, on to the matter. It's laughable until it's not. You dirty rat. There is information out right now that there's a rat infestation sweeping through New York City. Now, I'll tell you where my mind goes on this. And none of the news reports seem to be going there. I looked it up online. I saw a piece on Fox, and no one's talking about this. But what do we know about rats in our history? In the history of the West? It's called the bubonic plague. And it's kind of interesting because I actually read about the concerns from health officials when that's what 72 block 6 mile monstrosity of homelessness in Los Angeles was springing up. Health officials were expressing concerns about the bubonic plague. And we should be, because where there's human waste everywhere and dirt and filth and garbage, rats are sure to follow. Well, in New York City, the garbage is piling up. Now, they're not covering why that's happening. We know in the past when it's happened in New York City, it's been because of trash collectors strike. They didn't get paid enough money, so they go on strike. I can remember back in the 70s when this went on for about 3 weeks, and New York was a literal hellhole. What I think is going on here, I think the cause is the mandate. We know that the mandates now have taken teachers out of the schools and other places. They got the passports in place. The city officials have been told, I'm sure the trash collectors are part of that genre. And I think there's probably a shortage there. And I don't think if that's the case, then there's no end in sight. There's no end in sight. You have 10 million unfulfilled jobs in America. Oh, there's going to be a rush to sign up to be a trash collector? I don't think so. I don't think so. Some are not paid badly, but a lot of people are going to go do that. Rats are also showing up. This is kind of funny. This part's funny in democratic cities. And why in democratic cities? You're just going to have to read between the lines, folks. Chicago has a problem with rats. The Fox News, they jokingly said, but I think they were serious. They brought in feline cats, feral cats, to pursue the rats. They're spreading something here, and I had to go look this up. Leptospirosis. I don't know if you've heard of that or not. Leptospirosis. And it's disease, a serious disease, can make you sick and even kill you. And you don't have to be bitten by the rat. All you have to do is touch an area where the rat has urinated and you're exposed. So it sounds like it's highly contagious. It's also very, very serious. Leptospirosis. Never heard the term before. I know bubonic plague, but I've never heard that term, leptospirosis. But this is spreading through New York City. People are getting sick. This is the report that's going on. And I'm looking at some of your notes here online on this live report. It looks like some of you guys are way ahead of me. And here are someone, I don't know where you're from. You want to put that in? I'd be curious to see it. Our neighborhood is getting infested by mice. Never had a problem in 47 years. Okay, there's a little humor here on the line tonight. I can understand that, given the frustration. St. Louis County is one here. Okay. Well, what does St. Louis County have in common with Chicago and New York? They're run by you dirty rats, Democrats, Demo-rats, right? Yeah, some of you guys putting this there. Give me your locations on some of these reports, though. They're interesting. This is not a good deal. If we have the breakdown of city services, it's not just going to be the police that don't come and the fire that don't come and the teachers that don't teach your kids and the medical treatment you're not going to get. I mean, now we're seeing basic sanitation coming into play. And I'm wondering about, too, if we're going to have a huge labor shortage, who's going to fix the sanitation problems in America? They do break down. I think when you flush the toilet, you'd rather have the stuff go down rather than come back at you. Well, that means you got to have people there to make sure the system is working. And if we have roving blackouts, that's something that we don't even talk about now, except it's being discussed by Biden people. They're saying to save on energy and to cut down on emissions, that we're going to have to cut down on our electrical grid use. Roving blackouts. I mean, are they trying to turn America into California? It kind of looks like they are, but with roving blackouts, interesting. What if you're on life-saving medical equipment at home? What's going to happen to you there? And do you know if they have roving blackouts? Let me give you an example where this is really dangerous. To get water, the majority of water that comes into the LA basin, it has to be pumped over a mountain range. That takes electricity. What happens when you have a roving blackout in LA County? You get 10 million people without water. Do you see any potential here with these problems we're mentioning for civil unrest? And someone's on the line here, they're saying, keep prepping. I agree with that sentiment. You need to keep prepping. But the poor people in New York City and Chicago that are getting sick with leptospirosis, prepping ain't going to help that. You have to learn how to uninfest your area. And right now, it doesn't look like there's a lot of here. I didn't know dogs could get leptospirosis. Wow. And then spread it to people. I'll have to check on that. Amy, thank you for that information. That makes it a whole lot more serious. And you're saying it's mainly in. So pretty interesting here. But I thought it was important to come on here and do this often enough This was fun, and appreciate you guys coming on here with your information and suggestion. Um, isn't life wonderful under the Democrats? I guess we can say that literally and figuratively now, can't we? Thank you for joining us. Don't forget about the commonsenseshow.tv. We've lined up some great guests. We're going to do a lot of problem identification along with possible things that you can be doing. And the show's taken off. We're getting 4.5 and 5-star ratings on major platforms. And the subscription rate is going through the roof right now. Become part of what we do. People are liking it, and they're saying they get more help from this than they do from about anything else that they visit. That's the commonsenseshow.tv. We'll see you over there. We'll see you next time here as well. Thanks for joining us.